What is this thing?
You're gonna have to say that. Also, no, can you just wait for Myra?
Oh, Russia, space mill, uniqueness kind of plan.
Myra's not here.
Come on, Russia gets head. Space mill gets head. Uniqueness kind of plan. And
Solvency resources there.
what?
Solvency resources there.
Okay. Who's the panel?
Everybody.
Is everyone here a panel?
Me, Kathy, and...
Oh, okay. Holy shit. Too much hanging out. I'm flowing it. Okay.
He has it all up here.
He's tripping all in it. Why is it a fine judge? It's
You guys are the fifth judge. Rosenthal.
Why is it? Because it's not an NUT list, so we thought the idea of 5 judges was probably no, it's Rubai, myself, and then all y'all.
Running a 5K.
With the Intra-lab tournament, made Ricker put the count. So
He's gone.
he's gone.
Now tells you how fast you can build.
Do we like lose every year?
No. He said he thinks he's going to do Portland over the other one running every day. He would play basketball.
Alright, good?
now.
Alright. Alright.
Russia does that, not going for a prolif is inevitable. They can't access on the offense on space mill. Does that they can see that we access our impacts before they can access. The case means they have no impact away against this. Also means that since China destroys our long structure, there is no affirmative. There's only a risk of the unilateralism and perception links. Miscalc outweighs leadership on time frame. Perception breaking the NSP means that Russia and China start to militarize to defeat the United States. They first strike the United States. This means that they will be able to launch their ASAT capabilities before at all of our satellite assets, which means they cannot access an affirmative. Then the sea is miscalculated. The aerospace industry war renders international cooperation, things like that inevitable. We also weigh on time frame. They concede the preemption argument. Want to see crop on evidence and the Miller evidence indicate that they would preemptively strike the United States as soon as we launch the plan. Launch the plan. This turns to Germany because it means that other countries would counterbalance against us. Now space weaponization is not all their offensive weapons development is only about ground-based assets, not offensive weaponization, which is the internal link to this. They also concede that link controls the direction of uniqueness. Even if you think we're a little behind on uniqueness is inherently probabilistic. The link is yes, no question, and generates things like offense. Even if you think weaponization is able, SPS is able, there's only a risk of limp. Additionally, crap on evidence indicates that leaders fear weaponization absent other weaponization because they fear will lead to miscalculation. Additionally, public resistance means that they will never actually weaponize. Only the plan triggers the link. Their SPS inevitable argument doesn't make any sense because even if the other nations develop SPS systems, even if they develop weapons, only the plan can trigger the link because only U.S. action moves away from the Obama cooperative framework. The SSP, the Hayes evidence, the Huntley evidence indicate that the Obama NSP creates a transparent framework for weaponization and stuff like that. Even if the weaponization, even if SPS is inevitable, that creates a transparent framework with consultative mechanism, which means that is not destabilizing. They do not read a piece of evidence here, which means you should prefer it. It's not destabilizing. It would cause miscalculation. Their Glaser argument doesn't mean the link is denied. It just means that they wouldn't trigger the Glaser link because other countries are not developing it. They say no backlash, yes backlash. That was above that. The other countries view it as the only way to asymmetrically balance against the United States. They see it as a threat to their very survival. They concede that deterrence will ultimately fail in space. The crap on evidence indicates that it's cheap to send up ASATs to destroy United States assets. This one means that they don't get the avid. Two means that deterrence fails. Is conceded. I shouldn't have to spend more time here. No, two arguments. They said plan would be transparent. No, it's unilateral. Even if it's only 4 satellites. The 7th year evidence is fantastic on the question that unilateral any policy would trigger the link. And cooperation is reversible. The link is reverse causal. It said, well, the NSP made welcome changes. The rest of the world is watching carefully to see the evidence that these changes are durable. They said it's not a weapon. They can see the unilateralism. Like any unilateral policy triggers moving away from that framework. The pop evidence indicates that it would be able to blind ground-based assets. They would be able to blind ground-based assets. It triggers the perception of other countries thinking it's a weapon, causing an arms race. The Ramos evidence indicates that other countries would perceive it as a weapon. Perception is critical because it's about what other countries think. It also aids other weapon structures, so other countries would see it as the first stepping stone to a weapon Wumps program. It also electromagnetic waves would mean that they could take out other countries' conventional forces from space. Now, conditionality, they can see that you can't go for condo and dispo, can see that dispo is the same thing as condo, only just still debate because it's the only strategic way to read counterplans. Also, our interpretation doesn't preclude research, no reason why to conditional advocacy because that kills topic-specific education, which is internal link to their research. First argument, there is no point during research when there is no research on this topic. Dispo doesn't solve negative flex because they can straight turn. It means we're first to go for the counterplan. It means we cannot go for negative flex. Additionally, negative flex internal link turns their critical thinking arguments. We can't think strategically. There's no way to test opportunity costs from different directions. Our offense outweighs their research because strategic thinking on topic-specific education is the only way that education we get to debate about what's relevant to do. They also can see can breadth before death means it's an external dishead to their interpretation. They also can see that permutation check, which means there's no offense to their research claims. They're each conditional words. They skew our strategy too. There's not even a specific link starting in one ear. Means you vote negative. Now the solvency flow, he does not do enough good enough job here. Fiat doesn't mean they magically get the technology. The magnetic beams cannot pass through the ozone layer, which means SPS is functionally impossible. Their evidence is not conclusive on this question. It just says, oh, maybe we could have some technology. That does not cut it, which means if we went any solvency claim, that cuts against any of their resource wars impact. We would never revitalize the aerospace industry. You can see that they put the costs before the horse. Yes, they lower launch costs, but it is too expensive for the private industry to invest in the first place, which means they can solve their argument, assumes that the private sector signs on to lower launch costs. Now, the resource wars advantage, they will never happen. They do not do enough work here. He says empirics, Selye evidence indicates that, or Lush evidence indicates that globalizing trade means we can always trade research, which means there's no risk of impact. They can see Miller energy depends means other countries will counterbalance this turns their hegemony impacts because they have no incentive to cooperate with the United States. Now, the aerospace advantage, we read 2 cards here, but the hegemony does not solve war. Prevalent evidence indicates we no longer have the influence necessary to do those things. Other countries are already backlashing against the United States. The Hatching evidence indicates that empirically hedge has not stopped anything. China's rising influence, North Korea's nuclear weapons program means it cannot solve anything. Our evidence more recent means you should prefer it. Also, aerospace decline is unable to make Pearson evidence is fantastic. These, even if they incentivize the aerospace industry, they cannot overcome things like massive retirements. China's spending more on their government and labor costs. We don't have to win that decline is inevitable, just that China will rise above us.
4:45.